that we've got your attention, let the games begin! Game cartridges assembling. Greetings. Game loading. Mind your fingers. Keep working, you rust buckets. Uh-oh. Oh, no, not again. I don't understand. Every game seems to be the same. Ugh, revolting slob.
You know, we can learn a thing or two from even the most peculiar people. Observe. Hello, revolting slob. Before you dig into those tasty beans, can we have your attention?
What do you want me to do?
I'd like to teach our viewers a few new words. My, that's quite a meal you're eating there. Good enough to make your mouth water. Okay, everyone. Is the revolting slob A, saluting, B, salivating, or C, salvaging?
Can I eat now?
Hold that fork. The answer is B, salivating, which means to produce all that dribbly liquid in your mouth that helps digest your food. You can eat now. Ooh, those beans are so smelly, they're attracting flies. Is that because they're A, rancid, B, ransacked, or C, rampant? The correct answer is A, rancid, which means smelly or rotten. Revolting slob, you know you really should get some exercise. At least eat better. How about some nice wheat germ?
No, beans are better.
When it comes to beans, is the revolting slob A, obliterated, B, opinionated, or C, oxidated? The correct answer is B, opinionated. Opinionated means to have a strong view about beans, wheat germ, or anything else. Some of us might have a strong opinion about the revolting slob, but I suggest we keep it to ourselves. Let's review. Those baked beans are making you salivate. Flies like them too because they're rancid. The revolting slob is opinionated in that he prefers baked beans to wheat germ. Oh, and obliterated means destroyed completely. No slobs or flies were harmed in the filming of this show.
It's your friend Sketch here to lay something heavy on you. Just 'cause you got eyes doesn't mean you always see. You got to get the whole picture before you really know what's going down. Don't believe me? Well, I'm gonna show you some pages from my sketch pad. But not every page. See if you can tell what's happening before I show you the missing pages. You dig? Picture this. Sandy was this groovy lady who worked on the 26th floor of a very tall office building. All day long, she stared at dirty windows. One day, my girl Sandy, she was working so hard, she fell asleep right there on the job. Whoa, Daddy-O. Now that is not cool. Even less cool, she was leaning against the window and it opened. And catch this, she fell through that open window. Ooh, yow. But dig, this little kitten Sandy, she didn't hurt herself, not even a scratch. Can you figure out what really went down before I lay the missing pages of my sketch pad on you? Believe me, it makes sense. Check it out. You might think I'm trying to trick you, you know, that Sandy fell from the first floor. I wouldn't do that. Hey, maybe you think there was a giant cushion on the ground to break her fall. But it ain't that. And if you're thinking this kitten Sandy was wearing a parachute, well, it ain't that either. You know, Daddy-O, it makes you wonder, how could a lady fall through a window on the 26th floor and not get hurt? Are you seeing it with me? This funky lady Sandy, she's a window washer. She was outside the 26th floor, and when she fell through the window, she fell onto the floor inside. Crazy. Like I've been telling you, when you really use your eyes, you're gonna draw the right conclusions.
Good job. Word. Next game coming up. Greetings.
Game cartridge loading. Check.
Next game up. Distraction news.
And now, Distraction News with your anchor person, Dora Smarmy.
Good evening. I'm Dora Smarmy, and welcome to Distraction News, where we give you the news, and at the end of our newscast, I'll ask you 5 questions about what I've reported. So pay close attention and make sure you're not distracted. Now for our top story today, mummies. The ancient Egyptian pharaohs believed that death was the beginning of a great journey. They preserved their dead through the process of mummification and then buried them in tombs or pyramids with food, clothing, jewels, servants, and even pets. The mummification process was highly effective and has preserved some bodies for nearly 5,000 years. After death, the ancient morticians would remove the brain and many vital organs. For mummification to occur, all water must be removed from the body. This is so bacteria cannot break down the body's tissue. To thoroughly dry it out, they would pack the abdominal cavity with drying compounds and immerse the body in saltpeter for about 40 days. After that, the body was washed, repacked with spices and the drying compounds, and wrapped in bandages soaked in resin. Quite a process, just as Tutankhamun, one of the most famous mummies ever. Hey, by the way, shouldn't we call male mummies daddies? Now let's see how well you were able to remember the facts, and be sure to count how many you get right. Mummies are really scary monsters, a slang term for mother, or preserved human bodies. The answer is preserved human bodies. What is the longest some mummies have been preserved? Over 10,000 years, nearly 5,000 years, or several decades? The answer is nearly 5,000 years. What do the ancient morticians remove from the dead pharaohs? Unwanted facial hair, vital organs, or cowboy boots? The answer is vital organs. The body is immersed for 40 days in what? A bubble bath, powdered sugar, or saltpeter? The answer is saltpeter. And finally, what is the last thing they do to the mummy? Throw it a goodbye party, plastic surgery, or wrap it in bandages? The answer is wrap it in bandages. So, how did you do? Do you think you can make your own mummy? Ew. Oh, well, that's all the time we have for today, but remember, don't ever let anything distract you from watching Distraction News. So long.
This has been Distraction News with your favorite cardboard cutout anchor person, Dora Smarmy.
Watch your backs. Coming through, coming through. Greetings. Game time in 10 seconds. Think. Tank.
Ahoy, Milan Jam friends! This here's Captain Bob with a different kind of cool running. I can't get back to my beautiful home in Jamaica cause I'm stuck in this tank. No worries, man. I got me Rasta sub and me dreads swinging to the music. Look at this.
Can you help Captain Bob? He's jamming in his soul.
Okay, here's the deal. Now I'm gonna show you 3 things. And you got to tell me what they all got in common. But you got to do it before the water runs out of my tank. Let's go, gang. We got to get jamming.
Use your eyes, use your brain before his crews go down the drain.
Like I said, we got 3 things. We got a clock, an ordinary person, and a card game. What do they all have in common? Quick, the level's dropping. A clock, an ordinary person, and a card game. We're almost at the bottom, man. Do you see it now? They're all things with hands, man. Ain't that grand? There are hands on a clock. There are hands in a deck of cards. And there are hands on a person. Now this is fun. Next clue.
Before all Bob hits the bottom, find what these 3 got in common.
What's this now? We got a fish, a train, and a baseball. Can you figure out what ties them all together? Think hard. The water's already running away. Come on, people. You got a fish, a train, and a baseball. Hurry! That train big lagging. Time's up, man. They're all things you catch. Ain't that cool? You can catch a fish, you can catch a train, and you can catch a baseball. Well, that's it for today. Join me in me take next time for another round.
We help Captain Bob. Now he's jamming in his soul.
Or scoop.
Ladies and gentlemen, hey, I'm talking here. That's better. All right, it's time once again to play Poop or Scoop. Can you tell a straight scoop true from the animal poop false? Test your knowledge of the animal kingdom by separating fact from fiction. Let's get right to it with our first animal. Poop or scoop? Some ants can turn other ants into their slaves. Think about it. If you believe ants can turn other ants into slaves, go scoop. But if you ain't buying that, go poop. And the answer is, it's the straight scoop. Slave maker ants enter another ant colony and send out a fake panic signal. During the confusion, the attacking ants steal the pupae from the colony and raise them as slaves. Here we go, gang. Next one. Poop or scoop? Some fish carry their own flashlights. Are you buying that one? Do some fish have their own flashlights? If yes, vote scoop. If you think this is one dim tail, vote poop. And the answer is, it's the straight scoop. You guessed it. The flashlight fish carries billions of luminescent bacteria in a pouch just below each eye. He uses the light to see at night and inside the dark crevices of coral reefs. Here's the next one. Poop or scoop? The Jesus lizard gets its name from the fact that it can heal people. If you believe that, go scoop. But if it's a little too miraculous for you, go poop. And poop it is. The Jesus lizard gets its name because it appears to walk on water. He has large feet that move really fast. Now this lets him skip across the surface of ponds in his native Central America. Moving on, poop or scoop? Young sand tiger sharks need the protection of their mothers until they're almost 2 years old. If you believe it, vote scoop. But if you think that's a little fishy, vote poop. And the answer is, it's animal poop. You see, tiger sharks begin fighting right in their mother's womb. Now, the strongest embryo eats its brothers and sisters. So, by the time it's born, the tiger shark is already well-nourished and aggressive enough to take care of itself. Well, kids, that's all we got for you today. If you got only one right, you're a party pooper. 2, and you're a pooper scooper. 3 makes you a super pooper scooper. If you got all 4 questions, you're what else? A super duper pooper scooper. I'm telling you, you can't get this kind of entertainment just anywhere. So please, join us again next time for Poop or Scoop.
Watch your backs. Coming through, coming through. Game time in 10 seconds. Radio Scramble.
Radio KBOX.
Hey, all you happening slackers and slackettes. This is your most outstanding radio scrambling DJ, Jumpin' Johnny Jumble, or as we say here,
Jumpin' Johnny Jerry-Bum.
That's because here at Scramblin' Radio, we mix 'em and you fix 'em. In other words, my name is really
Jumpin' Johnny Jumble.
And that's how it works. Solid sounds and tangled words that have you unscrambling the letters that we'll be throwing out at you. Let's start it off with a golden oldie that is pretty moldy. The 5 Discords singing their classic, Harvey Worst.
Harvey Worst, a small red and fleshy fruit.
Harvey Worst,
gee, I think you're really cute.
Harvey Worst,
you're my juicy dream.
he tastes so good with cream. Yummy.
Harvey Worst, you're such a tasty dish.
Harvey Worst,
yes, you really are delish.
Harvey Worst,
you're my Harvey Worst, yeah.
Man, those Discords are crazy, baby. Could you unscramble it? That was their one-hit wonder, Strawberry. Oh, baby. And now it's time for another
commercial spot.
As you know, you cats and cadettes, when Johnny needs a getaway from the fast track, I always like to take a break with Snoop 8.
Snoop 8 really hits the spot. Once you start, you just
Pate, crunchy and munchy and great for a snack or lunchy. So next time you have a craving for something fast and delicious, try Snoop Pate. But be sure to ask for them by their unscrambled name, Peanuts.
Give me peanuts.
And now it's time for...
April showers weather.
Thanks, Johnny. Well, today's forecast calls for beautiful skies, except if you don't like rhino cars, then you might want to get out of town. Rhino cars can reach 600 miles an hour, so it probably won't hurt to nail down your farm animals. While rhino cars don't have as many movies made about them as twisters, they do make for better TV. So hunker down and hold on, because it's definitely the season for hurricanes. This is April Showers wishing you all sunny skies and pizza pies.
Thanks, April. And it looks like it's about time to pull this radio wagon out of Dodge. Until next time, this is...
Jumpin' Jeremy Bones.
That's Jumbo.
That was cool. Let's play another. Next game on the way. Dirty Pictures.
Well, we have lots of problems, and it's up to you to figure them out. If you don't, I'm telling you the truth. We all may go crazy. Man, that felt good. Where's the sinuses? Okay, here's how this whole thing works. We show you an equation, but instead of numbers, you see pictures, and you have to figure out what number they stand for. Then you just do the math. You cool? Then we better get started, because I can already feel the pressure building up in my brain. Follow me here. Take the minutes in an hour. Add that to all your fingers and toes. And don't you go counting them. Divided by the days it rained on Noah and his ark. Come on, you all remember Noah, don't you? The soaked old dude with all those animals and their best buds. And all those rainy days and nights. Got it? I could explain to you how it all worked out, but I won't. Because maybe you should already have the answer. But if you don't, what you do is this. Take the 60 minutes in an hour, add it to your 20 fingers and toes, I hope. Then you divide by the 40 days it rained on Noah. And the explosive answer is 2. 2. You want to try another one? Pay Professor Rocket close attention. First, take the unluckiest number that falls on a Friday. Then, add it to the number of nostrils in your nose. And don't go looking in a mirror. Now, you subtract the innings in a normal Yankees baseball game. Equals what? I'm waiting very patiently. Okay, here you go. You take the unlucky number 13. You add to the 2 nostrils in your nose. I hope. And subtract the 9 innings of a baseball game. And the answer is 6. 6. Of course, if you have only 1 nostril, I would accept 5. Okay, one more. You take Christmas Day. Now you subtract the Musketeers. Not the candy bar, man. The all for one and one for all dudes. Minus America's Great Lakes. What you get? Don't rush. I'll give you plenty of time. Time's up! You got Christmas on the 25th. And if you subtract 3 Musketeers and subtract the 5 Great Lakes, you can only end up with 17! 17! Which would also be a fine-looking number. Okay, that's out today. My brain's getting tired. Next time I want you psychomath rookies to be refreshed and ready to rock and roll. Do you hear me? Good. Now get yourselves out of here. Y'all be giving me a headache. Professor Rocket's out.
Greetings, time for Crashbox Rewind, where we flash back through the show and remind you how smart you really are.
Slave maker ants enter another ant colony and send out a fake panic signal. During the confusion, the attacking ants steal the pupae from the colony and raise them as slaves.
We got your clock, an ordinary person, and a card game. They're all things with hands, man. Ain't that grand?
The ancient Egyptian pharaohs believed that death was the beginning of a great journey. They preserved their dead through the process of mummification and then buried them in tombs or pyramids with food, clothing, jewels, servants, and even pets.
Those baked beans are making you salivate. Flies like them too because they're rancid. The revolting slob is opinionated in that he prefers baked beans to wheat germs.
Well, that's it for now. See you next time.